do you trust me?
I do trust you.
Why you do trust me?
You haven't given me a reason to not trust you since I've met you. You've been very trustworthy. I say a lot of because I'm trying to think of a time, but
You think
no.
of times that when you don't trust me? Let's just mention some untrust issues. Why not? People like to see some drama sometimes, you know?
I look, the trust issues that I do have are probably like when you're like napping with the baby and I'm like, I don't trust you because you might roll over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of normal thing. But I mean, I've been pretty good with the baby though. I never had any problem rolling over or anything.
No, you've been good. You've been
Yeah,
pretty good.
because I know like when I sleep, I know I have a baby next to me. So like I sleep consciously thinking I have a baby next to me, you know? So I don't think so it's gonna be a problem. But that's good to know. You trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that,
What
I
about the
trust
weekends?
you.
You trust me on the weekends also?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well, it sounds good to me, guys. Welcome, guys, to Myndscape podcast show. It's a show and a podcast. Today we're gonna be talking about trust. Do you trust your partner in a relationship? What some challenges people go through? What some you know breakup maybe happened because of trust and stuff like that. So we're gonna dive in deep into it, and hopefully you guys like the show. Make sure subscribe, like, and comment. It is more than 68% of you watch the videos and not subscribed. I'm talking to you right there, and I stop the video, go subscribe please, and come back and finish the show with us. This show, it's gonna be a little bit spicy, right?
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be spicy. Hopefully, we make a little bit of disagreement. We can make it a little bit entertaining for the people, you know.
Okay.
All right. So first thing first, you want to say anything before we get this podcast going? Well, you had a pretty good week this week.
Yeah, it was good. Thank God. A little bit stressful. I had a very emotional week for some reason. I'm still dealing with a lot of like hormonal changes from giving birth. I'm still trying to like settle into this body, I guess. It feels very weird. But other than that, pretty good week. Thank God.
That's good.
What about you? Did you have a good week?
Had a pretty good week. Very busy. Literally, I'm putting a lot of time and into this beautiful show. It's a number one podcast in the world. Make sure subscribe and like and comment. And I'm learning a lot of new things, which is amazing. I love to learn new things, and I like to challenge myself. So it's been pretty good and busy, with the baby and everything. But I'm not complaining. Just pushing through.
That's good.
Yeah. So get your coffee going. We are a coffee addict in this house. She got, some caffeine. I got some my coffee as well too. So get the coffee going, and
just remember, guys, we do have cats, and one of our cats is crying, trying to ask for attention. So don't mind him. He's around.
Somewhere around. But anyways, Boots, say hi to everybody if you want to. If you don't, stay back there. All right, let's get this podcast going. First question. How important is trust in the relationship?
Trust is very important in the relationship. Very important. I would say it's aside from communication, it's up there. It's hand in hand with communication. I think that's something you should have. What about you? Do you think it's important?
Is it important? Trust, of course, is very important. I think if you don't trust your partner, the relationship is not going to last. I think if you are in the beginning stage, I think it's okay. Not trusting, someone, whatever. So, yeah, you can take it for a little while. Then you have to trust. Yeah, for the long term, it doesn't make sense. For short term, I think it's okay.
You're saying basically that you cannot have a relationship without trust.
For long
a
term,
healthy relationship.
yeah, long term. Yeah. Short term, I think it's possible. For
Okay.
long term, no. Absolutely no. All right. Well, this is gonna like an easy question, just to start with. It's like appetizer question. The second question: do you have to trust your partner from the start? What I mean by that: do you have to trust someone you just met, you just got to know in the beginning stage? Do you have to trust them? Should you put your guard up and be aware what's going on in the world? Not
Y-
in the world, but around him. What I mean,
You, I think it's okay if you right off the bat don't trust them right away just because you've just met them. But I think that you should be able to gauge if they are a trustworthy person and just know that they have the potential to be in that trustworthy, relationship. So, if does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Of course, I agree with you 100% on that. I think, if you just got to meet someone in the beginning of the relationship, you guys, and that, of course, you need to put your guards up, make sure that person is the trustworthy and everything. But at the same time, example for me, I go with the open heart, but at the same time, I'm aware or like I pay attention. So of course, I don't trust anybody from the start. It takes some time for me to trust people, to get to know them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you're not trusting somebody from the beginning, I think it's normal. A lot of people get mad about it because like, well, this person is not like, bro, like I'll just start to know you, like, relax. So I think it's very important actually not going so naive into relationship, with trust and everything. Because a lot of people that they have a problem, or they know themselves are untrustworthy, they know how to present themselves. You know what I'm saying? There is a saying, it says, you can cross the river that makes a lot of noise, and don't cross the river that make no noise, like the quiet one. Because the quiet one, it will take you. But the loudest one, the water you hear raining and all that, that's actually, like you can cross through it.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Interesting.
Anything you want to add on this question before we move on to the third one?
No, it's a very interesting question, though. I think that sometimes when people get into relationships, they don't really think about trust that much. They think about, oh, communication and,
Yeah.
like, is he good in this and that? Does he have this? Does he not have that? But I think thinking about trust is something that you should think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too, guys, like trust is earned, not given. So like don't expect nobody to give you trust. You have to earn it. And that's how I roll with people, man or woman or whatever it may be. You gotta own my my trust. I'm not giving you any trust. Yes, I'm not gonna like assume anything right away, of course, or if you did anything. But at the same time, I'm not giving you my trust.
Yeah.
Because you have to earn it, and I have to earn it too. So if someone said, hey bro, like I don't trust you, like I'll be like, I'm the same thing, like I don't
Yeah.
trust you
Yeah.
either. We're building trust. So you do certain things, you do certain things in certain ways to build that trust with that person, and that's what I do, and end up people trusting me, and I trust them back too, if we're both of us made up in the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, third question. What are some red flags when it comes to trust in a relationship? Hmm. Do you know some red flags when it comes in a
So
relationship?
I would say personally, if they keep letting you down, like if they lost your trust, they probably gained it and they lost it again. I think that's if you have that inconsistency in the relationship, I think that's a huge red flag. Obviously lying, if they lie and you can't trust them, that's a huge red flag. Um, that's sad. But overall, I feel like personally for me, it's hard for me to like highlight and tell you those red flags just because I feel like I trust people right away. Like that's my thing. And then I end up learning my lesson and in the end. But then I just kind of forget that and then I live life just trusting people automatically. And I feel like you're definitely the opposite. Like everything you've been saying just previously, it's a reflection of you 100%. Like me and you are quite the opposite in that way. Where like, for example, we'll hire like a car detailer and you're like, hey, like don't pay them up front, pay them like after. Versus me, I'm like, no, it's okay, you know, like that's an example,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, it's those would be like my two red flags I think that I can think of. What are your some of your red flags
When it comes to trust, right?
yeah
Yeah, no, I mean, again, what you said, for me, when it comes to that, I like details and I like things to be done a certain way. And if I'm going to be paying for it, I want it to be proud and happy to pay for whatever I'm getting done, you know? If I'm not, if it's not gonna be done the way how I'm gonna like it, I will do it myself or not paying for it.
yeah
So that's me, right? And obviously, there is certain things when it comes to trust. So we're talking about relationships, trust, you know, and but at the same time, they are very similar in a way with even friends and business partners and stuff like that. So, for example, because this is like a relationship, as like a spouse or whatever, right? Yeah, I think when she like more sensitive, because I'm a man, so I'm kind of like I'm thinking about a woman, she's sensitive about her phone. So if I ask her or not even ask about her phone, so anytime like she's on the phone too much, right? And that it doesn't mean anything, she can be just like an addict, scrolling down or whatever, right? and and the second thing would be like putting her phone upside down all the time. We eat, and if she's like in the shower or whatever, the phone is like you can't find it around, right? Like she's going anywhere with her cell phone. I think that's a very big flag to me.
okay
Like is like that's your child. Like why are you going with your phone everywhere? I personally I don't do that. Yeah, I do take it a lot of wears, but at the same time I still keep it around. I'm not too tripping over it, and I think yeah. And if you ask her again to like, yo, can I use your cell phone? Maybe trying to find your phone dead one day. You want to make a
yeah
call phone or something like that. And if she give you any resistance, I think that's big red flag also. And another red flags beside the cell phone and stuff like that. If a person went a lot of different places or went somewhere and he didn't tell you or ask you even they're allowed to go there or no, then they came back home and they're like, you know what? I went here, I went here, I went here. So I feel like that's again, it can cause some red flags as well too, right? So I think you have to communicate before you do it. If you did it and done, why you coming and telling me, personally, right? If you want anything like that, I think you should come and talk to me first. Then, we'll talk about it, whatever. But if you already went and done and it's over, I mean, it's over. I don't want to know. But I think that those situation can raise some red flags in the relationship, 100%.
so those like things cause like trust issues in relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. You want to? Do you have anything else you want to add on to this third question we had here? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like pondering on something that you mentioned earlier, like when you were like, oh, ask me permission to go here or there. So, what are like some examples where you think that your partner should ask for permission to go somewhere? Because, our relationship's a little bit different. I feel like our relationship's very like kind of like traditional, old school, mixed with like Americanized relationship, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, here we're in the Western world and a lot of people don't really ask for permission, or they might think it's a little bit, a lot of people like to use the word misogynistic, you know? So what do you, to clarify, like, what do you mean, like, ask for permission to go here or there?
Yeah, you know, I'm a traditional man, and I like to stick with those values. You know, I think they are there from, it's from the religion, and people absorb those values and raise their many different generations. Never had too many relationship problems, you know, and I think it just they work right. And I like you know, for example, to come and ask me where you going and stuff like that, because first of all, you know, I like you respect me, you know, it comes from respect. I know you come and telling me you going here or no, it's coming from respect more than like, oh, if this person is gonna be tripping if I don't tell him, you know what I'm saying? You just like, you actually, you care, you know, you respect your partner, and coming to him or to them, and asking them if you can go somewhere like that. And at the same time, like, I'm not too picky, you know. Example, like, if you're gonna go and see your parents, I'm not like tripping, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, I like, you don't have to tell me every time you're like, oh, I gotta go see my parents, I gotta see. But I think more for me will be like, are you gonna be late? Example, in your parents' house, you know, it's not because just you are in your parents, right? And you're gonna be there until like 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning, or whatever, you know. I think that's not okay, right? And at least if there is a reason to say it until that time, I would like to know what's going on there, and you know, ahead of time, not until like 1 in the morning. Then you're telling me I'll be home at 3. You know, I think for me it's more like it's coming from disrespect, right? I think you will raise some untrust. In my case, example, only there were some red flags already before. Then that happened, right? But usually, like, it's just for me more respect. Like, you gotta respect me as a man, you know, in this relationship, and you gotta like,
Yeah.
you know,
So
make
what's
me.
like one example where like you can like just even make it up, but like what's one example where you feel like your partner should ask you for permission to go somewhere?
Yeah, for me, I think like anything has to do with friends, which is when I say friends, female friends, and even, you know, I'm not really a big guy or big fan when it comes to like friends going out type of thing. But you know, I'm still kind of okay with it in some situations, you know, and if it's done super rarely, I think I'm okay with it, you know.
Right.
And if it's, you know, and if it's like every week type of thing, you know, I think I'm just not. It's not me, you know. It's not in my relationship kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know.
we don't
I don't
go
do
out
that,
like
you
that.
know. No, yeah. So, yeah, permission. I think if you are going with your friends, you should tell them. You know what I'm saying? I think every guy like to know his girl where she's going. You know,
For sure.
especially if your man is not around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what other places? Yeah, going to the gym, something like that. I think that's fine. Going
Yeah.
shopping, like
Yeah.
groceries or
And just to
whatever.
like clarify
It's
for a lot
fine.
of
You
our
know.
viewers, like I literally don't sit here and I ask, hey, can I go grocery shopping? Hey, can I go to the store? Hey, can I go to my mom's house?
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
can I go to work? Like, no, it's not like that. It's more like I'll notify him. Like if I'm working, even sometimes like I forget. Like I'll be like, I'll go to the gas station, I'll go to the grocery store, pick up some food, or go to a restaurant, pick up some food for us, and I'll
Yeah.
come home and I'm like, hey, I did this and this and that. Like
Yeah.
my bad, I forgot to let you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like you would appreciate it if, for example, my coworkers, they're like, hey, we're all gonna go to like a team dinner on like Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think you would like if I just go and don't tell you until I came home, right? You kind of like to be notified.
Yeah. Exactly. That was perfect example.
You know, and you kind of like to know, especially if it's like, for example, specifically in my case, he would like for me to ask just because um I work with predominantly mostly male at work. It's mostly men, and I feel like it'd be uncomfortable, wouldn't it, if I would just like go to a team dinner and there's no like not a lot of women. It's kind of like, what's the point of you being there surrounded by men?
exactly.
So that's the case why I would have to ask for permission, because it's like, hey, like what is this about? You know what I mean? Because it's not normal for a woman to go out with predominantly just men.
Yeah, and again, if
you're in a committed relationship, right?
And if there is only man and you're the only female, I think again, if a good woman, she should automatically know she's not supposed to go there. You know, if there's like 3-4 people, women's and more like a man, and it comes to work or whatever like that, I think it's more, okay, but the only female or the only 2 females in the 10 guys,
that's questionable.
That's questionable. You know what I'm saying?
But so just to clarify on that, so it's not like I have to ask for permission.
Yeah,
and this is our relationship. We understand that it may not work for everyone.
Yeah.
Again, we have even though we're not that old, we're still in our 20s.
Mm-hmm.
We just have a little bit more of a traditional, more conservative type of relationship. But it's not super conservative, right? But it's I would say I call it conservative compared to other relationships.
What? Something that it's working for us. I don't know what we call it, but something that it's working for us. We're trying to share it with you guys, and hopefully you guys find some value in it, and maybe that's something you guys will work for you also. 100%. I think if a system works for a relationship for between 2 people, it's not gonna fit everybody, but it's gonna fit certain people. You know what I'm saying?
And
so you have to try different systems and see what system is gonna work for you and be comfortable with it.
For sure. And our relationship hasn't it was never always this way. We've gotten to this place by trial and error.
Yeah.
Right. So there's been a few instances where, I'll admit I went out and I did not ask for permission. Right.
That's why we feel like very, very qualified, to be honest.
I guess like confident in giving you guys advice, because we're coming from a place where we've, like I said, had a lot of trial and error. We've had a lot of ups and downs. There's times where we thought we weren't going to make it through, but we stayed connected and we fought for each other. And there was times where things got a little hectic, where, both of our families got involved, and it came to the point where we're like, you know what? We love each other. We're committed. We're going to do this. So, definitely trust was like an issue for us before, but we definitely overcame that. And right now we're just going to generally talk about just trust. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in like the comment section and we can go ahead and reply. But I just wanted to clarify that, because I don't want people to think that I have no freedom to go anywhere or anything like that.
Are you sure you have freedom?
I have freedom, trust me.
I don't have no freedom.
And there's even times where I'm like, hey, can I go here? Can I go there? And you're like, yeah, I don't care. Just do what you got to do. I'm going to be here. You know?
Yeah.
You're just like, cool, whatever.
Yeah, no, I like for me, I'm not really the jealous guy, I do get jealous, but not like some insecure guy, I think again, if you don't have zero jealousy with your, partnership, I think it's questionable,
Yeah.
So I think, especially a man, I think a man, you should have some, I think
a healthy amount, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
A healthy amount.
Like,
from both sides.
Yeah. I think, probably if I have to choose from, from 1 to 100%, it would be like, maybe I just like about 15 to 20%.
I would say you're like 10-15% kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
What, did I say something else?
No, I think, did you say 20? I don't agree with 20. I think it's like 10-15.
Yeah. So
and you've always been this way. You've always been very like confident, even like in the very beginning, how couples go through their honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
You've always been very, very confident. That's something that I do like about you. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, only if someone, if you're doing too much, I think where the jealousy what comes up, and but beside that, I'm good. I'm not worried about other people at all. Okay, so we'll do fourth question, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get these questions going. They're pretty good questions actually. I really like these questions. So, is it healthy to attract people's location, not people, but relationship between relationship couple,
Mm-hmm.
tracking their locations?
That's a really good one. Um, do I think it's healthy?
Is it healthy to track, your partner location?
Set aside sharing location if you go out to like a festival, vacation, whatever, just for safety purposes, or let's just say you're very forgetful and you always lose your phone. Set aside those reasons.
Safety reasons.
Yeah, safety reasons or whatever. I do not think it's healthy. Um, I think it just shows a level of insecurity on whoever wants to
Yeah.
track that person's phone.
Mhm.
Now, it's not like, I don't think this applies for every situation, because let's just say, for example, if your significant other gave you like a reason for you to want to track them, and it's like a make it or break it, where like you're about to lose that relationship, you guys are about to break up, and you're working on it one last time, and you're like, you know what, this is the last time, let's see if we can make it through.
Yeah.
And tracking each other's phone is a part of that. I think if you really love each other and you want to like kind of salvage the relationship, then I think that's okay. But other than that, I really don't think it's healthy. I think that you should be able to trust your partner. And if you do not trust your partner and you feel like that's something you need to do, I think you have to kind of dig deep into your relationship or into yourself. Maybe it's not even your partner's fault. Maybe it's an insecurity you have from a previous relationship that you're dragging on baggage to your current relationship, and you're like projecting those feelings and those insecurities on your new partner.
Yeah.
And, I don't think that's quite fair. So I think that that's something that you should really think about, especially if your partner has never given you a reason to.
Yeah.
I think it's not healthy at all.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with you 100% on that. The things probably that I would like to add on this question is, okay, so let's say if you just got to know someone and you guys taking it seriously, right? And maybe there is a little bit of, of course, like I said, with the very first question, second question, you don't have to trust people. But if you want maybe to gain that trust with someone, and both of you guys agree on, having, shared locations and stuff like that, I think, it doesn't hurt for a little bit or whatever until you guys build that relationship. So you guys kind of like using different resources to build the relationship faster as possible, so you guys can bond and stuff like that, right? And if you guys, are okay not doing it, it's okay. But I think it will be more, not okay only if you are someone tracking only one person. You know what I'm saying? So if you are just tracking me, I'm not tracking you back. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that can be a little bit weird because this person when exactly where he's going, where he's coming from, and everything. So you can take advantage when he's not home, when he's far, kind of thing. You know where he is. So you're like, oh, I can go here, I can come back here, and stuff like that. And again, I think from safety reasons, again, I will say women, if she like actually to be safe, because women when they are walking in the streets are very more exposed to the risk of being getting maybe kidnapped or a lot of things like that. So it makes sense. I don't know, like
harassed or something.
harass or get in a fight.
Yeah,
or
for like safety reasons. Yeah, like I said.
So I think it's good idea actually to share your location with your man. If something ever happened to you, at least he has that location. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's really really good if you really think about it like that, especially if that maybe woman, she does a lot of work outside, maybe travels too and stuff like that. I think it's a great idea actually share your location with your partner. So you never know, when you need it, and when you need it, you have it. It's better when you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's coming to share your location from a bad intentions, I think it's not good. So for
Yeah.
me, it would be trying to build your relationship fast as possible in the beginning, or you're doing it for safety reasons. But beside that, yeah, you shouldn't do that. I think you just gotta, trust the person, you know, that you are with, and that's it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add on with this question?
You pretty much said it all. Just kind of want to put it out there that with that being said, guys, do not feel bad if you are tracking your significant other. As you can see the many examples, do what works for you. Do what works for your relationship. But if you're doing it from a place where it's unhealthy and you're doing it because you really don't trust your partner, I really want you guys to kind of dig deep and see if that's something that you are projecting onto them because it's baggage from a previous relationship, or if it's something that they did do. And if it's something that they did do, you might want to address that and kind of work on it to just have a healthier relationship.
That sounds good.
That's
another,
it.
another thing too, guys. If again, so let's say both of you guys are agreed on, following
It's
each other,
mutual.
right? And when it's the time you think it will be like, okay, I think now it's time to stop following each other. Like when you think you can take that decision, there is a point for it.
I feel like it depends on the person and on the relationship. I feel like you would feel it. It's something that you feel, where you feel like, I trust this person, I love this person, and you have to be secure within yourself. Where at the end of the day, you have to remember and know that if someone's going to cheat on you, if someone's going to deceive you,
They're gonna do it.
they're going to do it regardless, because that's who they are, and there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Yes.
And if they do not want you, if they want to cheat on you, and if they want to do that, honestly, let them.
Yeah.
Have them do that, because you want to do yourself a favor. You don't want to end up thinking you're in love for 10, 15 plus years or whatever the case may be, and you suddenly find out and you've lost all those years of your life. Honestly, if someone's going to cheat on you, let them do that, because you want to get yourself away from that and move on and work on bigger, better things.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way I see it. And I think that once, like, for example, once we both kind of got to that place, me and you, we became much happier.
Yeah.
Once you realize, like, you are an individual, they are an individual, there's nothing you can do. You can try to smother them, love them, buy them anything, take them out, go on fancy vacations. But at the end of the day, if they want to cheat, they're going to.
They are going to. Absolutely. Yeah, I think for me, so if you guys, both of you agreed on, following each other or tracking each other, and I think the time you guys gotta you will know when to stop it is when, let's say, you're following each other and you haven't actually logged into whatever app you guys tracking each other from to see what is your partner at, right? So like you haven't checked it out for the past 30 days, you completely kind of forgot about it, right? So that's where you think is time to to stop sharing the location with each other, or just keep it that way, for safety reason, like I said, for men and women. Leave it the way how it is and just keep it for safety reasons. So third question, I'm sorry, guys.
I think it's like fifth question, right? Something like that.
Yeah, the fifth question. So how do you know you should trust your partner? So there is a time you should trust your partner. How do you know you can you should trust your partner? It's time. It's time to trust me, babe. Come on. It's been
Um,
8 years.
I think you would know because you would see it in their character, right? If you've met the people around them and they all trust them, speak of them nicely, if they are a man or woman of their word, where they do what they say, you should definitely trust them. That, you know what I mean? If I'm going to do this, they do it. You know, if they, I don't know, if you like, if they keep your secrets or something, you know, like it's like a feeling and something you see in their character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think okay, when you trust someone, I think it's more like a feeling to me. You know what I'm saying? You feel you trust someone, right?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna know, and and then the things that makes you actually kind of realize this guy is a trustworthy is not sneaking around. You don't bring anything that cause problems to take from the trust cookie jar. That's what I call it, right? Anything you do good, you add to a cookie jar trust, right? So if I did something good, so I'm adding to the cookie jar, right?
Would you say that our jar is pretty full?
It's pretty full. That's why
Yeah.
I'm been gaining weight. But so I gotta start taking from that cookie jar, take some cookies out, So it's like a deposit. You deposit to the cookie jar. That's the trust being, you build your trust. And the less you take from that cookie jar, right? The deposit is gonna go down. The cookies is gonna go down, and that's how you start, untrusting your partner, or you start trusting your partner more because you add more, or you eat more, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's more like a feeling, and he's not sneaking around, or not. She's not sneaking around. Like I said about the cell phone thing, it's more open, right? The more resistance you give in to somebody when it comes to anything, right? So, for example, we do like the cell phone kind of thing, right? So, let's say I lost my phone. You have an iPhone. I want to get your phone. And I want to see if to find my phone, right?
Yeah.
So I come to you. I'm like, hey, babe, can I get your cell phone to find my phone? So what's your answer will be?
So I feel like in an unhealthy situation, I would say, what for?
Go for it. Here, you're just gonna pass it on without anything, like now.
In a healthy relationship, like right now, like yeah. Here you go.
Yeah. Okay. So let's pretend we have little trust issues, right?
Well, and also in a healthy relationship, I feel like you would know each other's passwords, right?
Yeah. So if you want to just use the cell phone, whatever, right? Yeah. No, absolutely. Too. So okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about just. So let me ask you and pretend that we have some trust issues. Hey, babe, can I use your cell phone to find my iPhone?
Yeah, sure. I can do it for you. What's your login?
No, just pass me your phone.
I can do it though. I'm using my phone, so it's fine. What is it?
I don't want to give my password just like that. Just give me your phone. I'm trying to find my phone. I'll give you your phone back.
Be like, okay, hold on.
Hold on for what?
And then you just like see me on my phone for like, I don't know, like a hot minute. And I'm like,
deleting everything?
Maybe. And then just like hand it off.
You see, so that resistance that she tried to give me right there, I don't like it. I'm not that guy try to go back and forth with the people, especially like my partner. If I said, give me my phone, give me give me your phone, because, especially I'm not asking to go through it. I'm asking to find my phone. But with God, sometimes that's how it works. If you're doing something, that message, that picture, that thing that your husband or your partner, you don't want him to see, is going to see him as long you're going to keep passing him your phone,
Yeah.
And karma, sometimes that's how it works, right? But you got to keep it clean.
Yeah.
But that resistance, I'm just giving you guys, like if that resistance happened between me and her, I'm gonna put my guards up. I'm gonna be aware. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like a psycho
You're gonna sleep with one eye open.
with one eye open.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're gonna be like this, right? So I'm gonna be paying more attention, right? The way how you behaving and everything. Are you? So even now, maybe you've been going a lot of places without telling me. Probably I'll start paying more attention to them. No, now what she did with that action, she eat from the cookie jar. That's pretty good. I like the cookie jar. The cookie jar method. I use in a lot of different things. Adding more cookies to the jar or taking the cookies from the jar. Eating the cookies from the jar. So now you just eat like about 3 cookies right there. With that resistance. So yeah, so that's how. And the more open you are, obviously that's you can't trust them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to the 6th question. Is it possible to have a healthy relationship without trust?
No. You can have a relationship, but not a healthy one. No.
Yeah, I think so too. So for me, when it comes to a healthy relationship, like I mentioned early, you can have a good or okay-ish, relationship with someone without fully trusting them. But in the long term, it doesn't make sense because it's going to drain you. That's what's going to happen. So you're wasting a lot of energy that probably you have to invest that energy into your personal, growth or your business or your family, your kids. Now you spend a bunch of energy just wondering what is your partner at, what is your wife, what is this or is that. So I don't think so is a good idea. So like in my case example, like I can do it, but I can do it just for so long because it's a drain energy, right? So you got to protect your energy. If someone wasting your energy that way, better let them know or cut it off soon as possible. But if you really like the person and you want to give them some time to build that, I think it's worth it too,
Yeah.
Like, okay, I like this person, but he has this kind of issues. So if you want to give him some time, I think he's going to be okay for a little bit. But in the long term, it's going to drain you so much and waste your time too much. And it just doesn't make any sense to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't. Especially because I think if you are in a relationship like that, that's unhealthy, and I feel like you can pick up some insecurities. You can develop insecurities from that relationship and possibly drag that on into another relationship if you move on,
Yeah.
Being in those unhealthy relationships, you will develop like nasty insecurities and trust issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't work on that, it'll definitely get dragged on to the other relationship.
And those problems, you take them with you everywhere. That's the sad part. A lot of people be like, oh, you know what? I worked on myself, blah, 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 blah. I promise you, as long you get upset, everything comes out like a magic. So it's hard to I think men can be a little bit better at it than women, but both of them, it would comes out when things get hot, So I would put it maybe 70-30 or 65-35. So 35 for women, and 65. So more chances women will take that stuff with her and it would keeps coming out anytime she gets mad and stuff like that,
Well, I feel like even men because what you see a lot now, it's saying you will see this a lot with women. All men are the same. All women are the same. But it's like what you really, really don't like and what's really kind of in the forefront of your mind, all these insecurities, that's what you're going to attract.
Yeah.
So all these people saying all women are the same, all men are the same, that's what you're attracting. You need to go outside of that and you'll realize that not every woman is the same and not every man is the same. It's just where you're looking.
Well, yeah, that's pretty good, but do you know why they are attracting the same person in the different bodies?
I feel like because in my opinion, I would have to assume because they're not genuinely really working on themselves and having that like actual change. And sometimes you could be working on yourself and changing yourself, but you are still in the same environment. I feel like you have to change that environment around you in order for you to find something. I mean, you will see all these women going out to clubs, bars, restaurants, bars and grills, hookah lounges, trying to find a man, getting all pretty, looking very, pretty, showing a lot of skin, they become like a sex icon when they go out and they attract these men, and then it doesn't work out and they wonder why.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, that bait that you're putting out there, the way you're going out, that's not a wife material. That's not something sustainable. So what you attract, it's not going to last. And if it does last, it's not going to be healthy, because there's a certain type of people that go out to bars, that go out to clubs, that go out to these places. Specific type of places.
Yeah.
So if you want to find a good, loving, trusting man filled with honor.
Yeah.
That's what I would consider a high value man, in my opinion. If you want to find that, then you need to stop going to the clubs, to the bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the casinos.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine actually that he'll be on Tinder. He'll be like, man, I can find a wife to marry. I'm like, bro, really? Like, if you're looking for a wife, are you looking in Tinder? Like, are you dumb, stupid? It's just like, you don't do that, right? But I know he's doing it from the point he wants something else, but he's selling this idea to himself and the people around him. Oh no, I have intentions to find a good wife, but I'm like, that's not the right place.
But anyways, this is place.
Yeah, this is a different topic. But obviously, the people that attract the same person in the different bodies, the same character, the same, but in different bodies, because actually the females or men, they don't change themselves. You gotta change who you are to find something different, right? So start from yourself, change yourself, the way how you act, the way you behave, the way how you think. Then you're gonna find somebody different than what usually you find in your algorithm of your social media. It's like an algorithm in the social media, right? When you start watching something else, right, it will start giving you more of that, right? Yeah. But when you start, it's exactly like that, how our brain works, or how we attract each other.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, let's move on to another question. So these questions right now, or it's kind of steps to build a relationship, and hopefully you guys find them valuable for you, and take some. Definitely will be some at least one or two things to, that will works in your relationship to foster your relationship, trust, and all that. And let's get this going. So, how to build trust after it's broken? Actually, this is a good question.
Yeah, someone really broke your question.
So I broke your trust. So how can I build it back up?
Communication. Having communication. I feel like in this specific situation, having a little bit over communication and I would want you to keep me happy, for us to go do things together. For you, if it was like maybe a phone situation, right? Have your phone out for me to know your password. For me to for example, if I haven't been introduced into your inner circle, for me to be introduced into your inner circle.
Like be open book kind of thing. Huh?
Yeah, be a very open book. And spend time with me, make me feel loved, cared for. You essentially, I feel like, would have to distract me from what you did. And it's almost like you're trying to make that person fall in love with you all over again, because you want to take them from that place of hurt, that place of, mistrust, and into this place of, what people like to call the honeymoon stage.
Yeah,
Love and care
and
and
trust and
trust,
all that. Yeah.
attention. And if you check up on me and say, or not even check up, but check in. Hey, I'm on my lunch. I just wanted to call and say hi. I was thinking about you, love you, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all those things essentially making me fall in love with you all over again would work. But one thing that you have to remember if you're gaining somebody's trust is do not express frustration if I don't trust you right away, right off the bat, because it doesn't work that way. It takes time to build trust, especially depending on the level of mistrust that person has. You have to really, really work hard and keep that momentum going. Don't just work hard for a day, a week, a month, and then give up and go back to your old patterns. You really have to essentially change.
Yeah.
To really gain that ultimate trust from that person where they won't lose it, where they say, you know what, I know this person, I can vouch for them. They are this, I trust them,
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think you said it beautifully. What I can add on maybe to this question to, after you broke your trust with someone, I think you have to be a man of your word. What I mean by that, when you give your word to someone, a female to a man or a man to a female, do it. Make sure you go through whatever you said you're going to do. Follow through it, right? So let's say if I said, tomorrow we're going to go at 9 p.m., dinner together, I'm going to make sure to do that, not going to like change plans or anything. All if there is like really, emergency or something like that. If you said you're going to wash dishes, make sure you do dishes. Or you said you're going to just be a man of your word. Anything you said you're going to do, just make sure you do it. Then unconsciously, other person, that's how sadly human being works. Unconsciously, that guy be like, or that girl be like, yo, like anything this person actually saying is doing, So unconsciously, you start trusting him again because he's a man of his word again, right? So that's one of the ways to faster your to heal your trust again with your partner. And again, whoever the person you broke your trust with, they're gonna be salty about it. So expect that. So even because they're gonna expecting you to be this nice gentleman, this nice woman again, saying all these things, what I'm going, what I'm coming from, this and that.
Yeah, for you to like go the extra mile.
Yeah. So you gotta be willing to go a little bit extra mile to trust again from them. But if you don't do that, you're going to be a little bit salty. So you have to make them forget. So maybe take 2 weeks, maybe it takes a month or two. Then they're like, okay, well, actually, this person is changing, because before they're going to expect that from you, you're going to be throwing this persona to them to trust you, right? So you have to play the game like a long game, and hopefully you're actually willing to make it work and do it forever. But yeah, being a man of your word and expect other person will be a little bit salty about it for a while until they forget, right? But like I said, the more you follow through on your words, I promise you they will forget and everything will be okay. All right, second question when it comes to building trust. So how to address trust issues in a relationship without causing more problems. So how you go about it when you have trust issues, without, causing more harm or more problems,
First all and foremost, you want to feel comfortable speaking to your partner about trust issues. If bringing up a certain concern of trust makes them upset, defensive for whatever reason, you kind of want to dig deep into that and say, hey, is it me because I'm always projecting my baggage onto them? Or is it legit because there is something there that is of concern, right? Like you're being defensive because you are guilty of whatever reason, so you want to be comfortable always bringing that up.
Yeah.
And I always like to use the 3 C's. be cool, calm, and collective. You don't want to come off defensive to them. You don't want to blame them. You don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
You want to make them feel comfortable talking to you, because I feel like that's the most effective way of getting the answers that you want, or having a constructive conversation. Because once you start accusing someone, start pointing fingers, even if it is their fault, a lot of the times, you know, the way humans work, people will be upset, get defensive, and it just won't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a constructive conversation, use the 3 C's: cool, calm, and collective. And God willing, you will get an answer, or you will have that constructive conversation that you need to have. But do not be scared to bring that up.
Yeah.
Because if it is an issue, then you really have to dig deep and find out, why is it an issue? And is that something that you need to address? And is that something that's healthy to have in a relationship? Not really. So that's something definitely to think about.
Yeah, that's really good, actually. What I can add to this question is to address problems when it comes to, you know, trust. So don't attack the person. Don't be like, you are untrustworthy piece of crap, blah, blah, blah. You know, don't attack them. I think if you actually want to work it, you know, that's why I was like, you know, trying to talk about trust, but not coming from the way that you are calling them, you know, bad names, right? So you come in from the angle of love and stuff like that. So for example, I like to give good examples, you know, that's exactly how I learned too. So if I tell you, babe, hey, babe, you know, can you not be on your phone too much when, you know, when we're together having dinner or anything like that, you know, and because it just makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So me instead telling her, yo, like, stop being in your phone. I don't know what you're doing over there. So I'm just kind of telling her in a polite way, yo, don't be in your phone when I'm around, you know? Give me some respect, right? And then see how she's going to take it. She's maybe be like, oh, I don't want to do this, you know, like, what's wrong with you, whatever. But again, just explain to her, like, we're having dinner, you know, I'm here. I don't want you to be in your phone. It makes me uncomfortable, stuff like that. I don't want to think anything. So you mentioning small things slowly, but you're not like, hey, what are you doing in your phone all the time when you're talking to me? When we're together, you are in your phone, blah, 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 you know? So I'm attacking her, telling her I'm assuming something going on in there without, maybe she's not doing anything. She's just maybe an addict with the phone, like a lot of us, right? So always come from the point of view, you like, yeah, just stop this, please, thank you very much, you know, don't be like that guy or that girl just assuming the worst, you know. Sometimes life is easy, we make it difficult for us for no reason. So just always come from love and talking about exactly the problem that you don't like, instead attacking the person, you know.
Yeah.
If you want to work the relationship with other person, but if you don't want to work it, I mean, I'll just be like, yo, blah, 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 you know, just attack you straight up. And that's how you ruin the relationship so fast. And you make them feel you can't trust them, and they start doing the things that make you doesn't trust them even more. And it gets worse and worse and worse. But if you come from love and respect, always it will works out for your favor. Trust me. So second question or third question, all my questions are second questions. So what are some actions that help to foster trust between partnerships, you know, partners or spouse?
Definitely, I think sharing like each other's like password on the phone. Like if you can essentially
you mean
share,
like just knowing the password of each other?
Just if you're able to share your phone with your partner, I think that's a really big one. Yeah, because if you really think about it, your phone is like your personal thing.
Yeah.
It has a lot of personal stuff on there, pictures, contacts, social media, text messages. I think that's a really good one. I'm not saying you you have to, but I think if you do, that's definitely a sign of trust.
Yeah. Do you know my password? That's the question would be now.
I do know your password only because you have it in a certain pattern. So if you were to ask me what's your password without looking at like the iPhone keyboard, I wouldn't know what it is.
I know, me too.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah, no, she know my password. I know her password.
Even though you have to ask for it like every single time,
yeah, I
like,
know.
you
Yeah,
just can't
I do
remember.
forget. Literally, that's actually my problem. I don't remember the password. But we know each other's passwords just because we sometimes need each other's phones to do certain things. Like for her phone is always on dying mode, you know?
It's dying.
My
all the time.
phone, it's always fully charged. I'm like kind of going to the war. I don't want to have my phone die because I know, just a lot of stuff in there, emergencies and stuff like that. So I like my phone to have it always full. So a lot of times her phone is dead. She want to do something. She would come to my phone. Sometimes in the morning, maybe a bunch of, alarms going off.
A lot,
right?
yeah.
Sometimes, someone calling me from a family member, she want to answer and stuff like that. So, yeah, if you are in a committed relationship as us, I think it shouldn't be a problem not sharing the location. Not sharing the password or not knowing the password or whatever. Because again, it's a tool. It is a personal tool, but it's a tool that works for me and work for her. And we don't go through the phone like maybe some people think, we use it for use purposes and put it down. And I don't get her phone and be like digging into it. She doesn't get my phone and she'll be digging into it. You know what I'm saying? And usually if you keep doing those digging, sometimes you might see something that you don't like. So, so might as well just keep it sweet.
Avoid the heartbreak and just don't look in the phone. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think those things, because you're not sharing the password. You sharing the password with that person, it would never make them want to go crazy in your phone. Because
the thing is, I think if you find yourself going through that person's phone, that's a reflection of your insecurity, right?
Yeah, that's true. Or you start showing them some really red flags also.
Yeah, if you see red flags, I mean, that's another thing. But if you don't,
like you chilling, or they're like, you know what, I'm just want to go through my husband or my wife's phone.
Yeah,
I think that's not healthy at all.
Yeah,
but yeah, thank God we're out in really good place. We don't have any problems when it comes to phones or stuff like that. She know my password, I know her password, and and yeah, life is good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's crazy how digital things now have so much control of our relationships, blah blah blah. It's crazy. We never thought about, not us, but maybe let's say my grandparents, they never thought we're gonna have a conversation about trust and cell phones included and everything. They've been sending letters to each other for forever.
I feel like that's like something we should bring back, is like sending each other letters. I know.
It's beautiful for sure.
Yeah.
With the pigeons, huh? Ooh.
Like Harry Potter, when they would, like, I don't know, have you seen Harry Potter when they deliver the messages with the owls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Super
saw only
cool.
that part in maybe in social media. Anyways, so, and the fourth question will be, what steps partners can take to maintain their trust? Maintain your trust or build more trust. Some steps, people can take. Our lovers, be lovers.
I think if you kind of take
subscribers,
all the advice that we've talked about today, and you maintain that throughout the relationship. You have to have that consistency and not fall off, because I feel like if you have that momentum going and then all of a sudden you stop, like that may cause a red flag or a kind of like a little hurdle in the relationship. Like, hey, why did this person stop doing this? Because they used to do this and now they don't. So let me look into it. Is it something? Did they find someone else? Do they not like me?
Yeah.
It can go on and on and on, especially women. We overthink a lot. We're a little bit more sensitive. Our mind works differently than men. So it's something that I would advise you keep that momentum going for sure.
Yeah, that sounds good actually. Um, yes, some steps to keep your relationship maintained when it comes to trust is, yeah, keep a man of your word. Obviously, you're not gonna be 100% all the time, but don't get below the ratio will be 80 or 85. So keep it 80 and up. I think that's a good, healthy to maintain and build your trust. Obviously, like I said, we're human beings, we make mistakes, we're gonna forget and stuff like that. And you're gonna be taking a little bit from that cookie jar. But keep the cookie jar full as possible. So, if something happened by accident or, whatever happened, it doesn't, put you in a negative so quick, right? Because if your cookie jar is so low and anything happened, you are in negative already. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're not gonna trust you. So keep it 80% and up. That's where always the trust gonna be okay with your partner, and you never guys gonna have any problems. And keep doing the things that build relationships. Like I said, be a man of your word. Be okay and open with your cell phone. And what some other things? Yeah, and communications. You have to be good on communications. I know it's kind of like a taboo thing, talking about communication and stuff like that. Trust me, I think we become really good at it over time, because we know there is nothing else will actually work without talking to each other and putting everything on the table, and break it down and this and that. And communication is the key when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. Trust me. So communicate. Don't over communicate, but communicate in a healthy way.
Over communicating though is way better than under communicating. Yeah, so don't be afraid to over communicate, because you can just communicate and say,
for
hey,
sure. It may be just
chill.
The worst thing can happen with over communicating is being annoying a little bit.
Yeah, but you can always address that.
Yeah,
it's better addressing that you're being over communicative than under.
For sure. Yeah, well, this is some steps you guys can start taking. Be a man of your word. Communicate with your partner as much as you can. Let them know where you're going, where you're coming from. If you're staying late or anything like that, stop going with your friends so much. I'm talking to the females here, but you guys, you can go anywhere.
Just stop going out to places that doesn't benefit you at all. If it doesn't feed your mind and your soul, for positivity, then stop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And especially this goes I see. I don't know, because I'm not a man, but from the female perspective, misery loves company. So stop getting those relationship advice from single women. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Just how they say you wouldn't ask a homeless man how to get rich, right?
Yeah.
Just don't. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes your single friends unconsciously don't want to see you happy because they're not happy. They don't want to see you with someone because they're not with someone. Unconsciously those things can happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Well, this is the trust podcast topic. This is the topic.
I know, because it's your second language. So
no, what I'm trying to say here, because I got distracted by this, but we're gonna be cutting this part. No worries. So, well, hopefully you guys found some value things in this episode. It's gonna be in the number 5. We are still moving with this podcast. We're planning to stay. We're not going anywhere. Please make sure subscribe, like, and comment. Like I mentioned earlier, that 68% of you guys haven't subscribed. So please subscribe, because it's gonna help us to build this channel.
Yeah.
And we're not asking for too much.
Stay tuned, because we're in the next few weeks, we're going to be pretty busy, but we're going to be moving into our new studio slowly but surely.
Oh yeah,
right?
Some exciting
That's going to be very exciting.
So yeah, we're investing to the show. We are asking for to please subscribe and share the show to other people. when I'm talking to this camera, I know there is a people behind it, and I'm looking at you straight ahead right there, and I'm telling you, go and subscribe right now, please, because it's gonna help us out a lot to build this show. Our mission to reach millions of people every week to hear this message. They need it because we want the society to get better, to improve, and build the families that people can be proud of and be, best version of yourself.
Yeah. And we love debates. And let's just say if you disagree with something that we said, or it just doesn't work for you, or if you have additional advice or you think we're wrong, we'd definitely love to hear it in the comments.
Absolutely.
We are not sensitive like that, and we don't get shy. So go ahead and just drop it down.
And a lot of hot episodes and topics are coming. We are always
we're like
trying
kind
to
of
be creative a
slowly
little
just building our foundation before we just like really just dive in there.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully you guys found bunch of stuff valuable for you guys in this episode, and we'll see you guys in another one. Bye bye. Hello, sir.
Oh my, you like to say bye bye.
I don't know.
You've never said that.
Say bye bye. What's your days though?
I don't know.
Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys find the show fun and enjoyable, and I will see you guys in another one. Bye bye.